Okay, I'm back. Sort of. I first of all, happy or Merry Christmas Eve. I am knee deep in a commission that I cannot post online, so I thought I would do something different tonight. I don't know who all is going to be on, but I'm going to do some drawing. So, but I did do some since I was on here last. I did do some progress on Gonzo here. Um, I changed out the foam with super soft foam on the eyelids, and they work pretty well now. So this is still the prototype. It's way too big, but I'm pretty happy with the mechanism I have in there now. And the next one will be even better. So, um, just to show you, I did do some work on them. So, with that out of the way, I'm going to draw. So, get some of the stuff out of the way. Hopefully, somebody will watch this. I thought I would do maybe a takeoff on the Charlie Brown Christmas thing. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just draw the multiple characters. I actually have a bit of an announcement. I'm going to be working again at Knott's Berry Farm, and chances are, if you go there in the month of February, I will be the guy that teaches you to draw the Charlie Brown characters. So that should be pretty fun. So Melonpool's actually been having kind of a um, a second life on. I put I updated the website, which is melonpool.com, and put all the archives back up, and it's been getting a lot of hits, which I don't understand at all because I haven't really told too many people about it. But I think I'll just draw the Melonpool characters as is. I was gonna put them in Christmas outfits or something, but I also think that in 2026 I'm gonna start doing this more regularly, not as part of the puppet feed, but as something else. So I want to start working on another project, another Melonpool project, and as part of that, I'm gonna basically live stream a good chunk of the process. Uh, so I'm gonna just slow down a little bit since nobody's watching anyway. There's kind of an order I do these characters in. Oh, it's going to go out of focus. I'm not sure why that's happening. Okay, there we go. I've drawn it this way ever since I was a kid. In fact, I could go get a drawing that I did when I was in high school, and they'll probably be in the exact same pose. Now, Ralph and Ralphie are basically the same character, but it's all about their pose. Like, Ralph is always, upset about something, and Ralphie's usually pretty easygoing and a little worried. And I'll fix a lot of this stuff when I ink it. Much the same way Roberta and Mayberry kind of look the same to a point. Just the ponytail and the eyelashes kind of set her apart. Oh, and her body's completely different. I'm going to change her pose a little bit. When I was doing the webcomic, I used to have people try and draw the characters, and nobody really could draw them. So if you want to draw the multiple characters, I'd love to see them. Maybe I'll do an instructional video, part of my new thing. But yeah, everybody has problems with drawing them. My art style is basically watered down Watterson. But okay, so then over on this side we got Sammy. He's always the only one looking in the wrong direction. I kind of. I mean, I wasn't going to do it. Hey, Cassidy. So Cassidy says he thinks that he's the inspiration for this video because I drew a picture earlier today of Phil Van Neuter, Dr. Phil Van Neuter. But I was just thinking I needed to do something, and I've been working on the puppets all day, and my back needed a rest. Okay, maybe I'll put Jalea up here. She's so much taller than everybody else. I'm giving away all my secrets. How I draw. Julie has 5 fingers. She's human. She started off as a robot, but she ended up as human. Okay. And maybe I'll put the duck and the cat in here too. Hide some of my problems. Cat. Oh, good. I'll put the cat over here by Jalea. I tend to stay pretty loose when I'm drawing, especially since I've drawn these characters forever. But all right. So there's our little drawing. Get out my ink. So I use the Black Magic Faber-Castell. Faber-Castell. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, I'm sorry, Cassidy. I didn't know that. I know a guy named Cassidy, so I will never make that mistake again. She. All right, so I take a brush. This is a Winsor Newton Series 7 number 2. For those of you playing at home. And let's bring this down a little bit. I just basically dip it in the ink and then kind of turn it to make a point. And I go to town here. Okay, so I got to work front to back. So since I put that duck in front of there, I got to draw him next now. Or her next. It's kind of amazing how much ink stays in the brush while you're drawing. Okay, I can do that. I don't know if I'll do it this time. I had to take get a reference for Dr. Phil. Sorry, I had to get my glasses, take my glasses off to do that a little bit. Okay, so next I'll finish up his body. I always kind of try and either have Mayberry in a more heroic pose or confused pose. Those are pretty much his only poses. Here's one of them. Yeah, I don't do these drawing ones very often. Obviously, I think this is only maybe the second time I've done it. But I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna start doing it more often. So, and as a separate from the puppet feed. Still kind of tweaking this thing. Maybe ruining this thing. Okay, here we go. Okay, now it's on to Sam. And these are all the same characters that I built as puppets a few months ago. Sam's always worried. He always has to pick up all the pieces. I'm not really tracing the pencil lines. I'm just kind of using them as a guide, no matter what Kevin Smith says. Okay. It's been a while since I drew these characters, so well, that's not true, but inked these characters, I guess. Okay. I guess I'll do the cat. The cat's always too cool for school. And I'll probably come back in with the whiteout and fix some things like his legs and stuff. One of the gags from the comic was that he sits like a dog because he learned it from Sam. So this little white area here, I will fix with the whiteout. Okay. 3 down. Let's get Rafi in place. So the nice thing about working with India ink with a brush is it dries super fast. I'm not going to run my hand over it, but it's pretty much, it's all dry now. Unless I get really thick with it. His feet actually a little bit higher up than I drew them originally. He usually has a little tick mark under one eye. Boy, you're asking a lot. I used to get paid for this sort of stuff. Okay, let's get Roberta in here. I drew her way too tall, so I'm going to fix that. Got half done now. Okay. I guess I'll move on to Ralph now. Oh, thank you, Charles. How do you ink? I've been following your comic again. Now that we're both on Comic Fury, um, are you working digitally or do you work with brush or what do you work with? Pens? So Ralph always keeps Sammy real close because he always wants a quick getaway. A lot of the strips on Comic Fury were drawn with paint markers. Okay, but nowadays I'm inking with Tombow Futasoko brush pens. Okay. Yeah, I when I was in college, I decided I was really obsessed. If you haven't noticed, really obsessed with Bill Watterson's Calvin and Hobbes, and so I sorry, I didn't mean to walk. I made myself learn how to use a brush, and the way I did it I got a white Sabeline brush, which is a synthetic, and it had a little bit stiffer bristle and was easier for me to learn. Okay, I'm going to switch over to Julia now while that dries. She has really thick eyebrows like Brooke Shields. Fix that. Now, when I draw the strip, when I make a mistake like I just did, I usually will mark it with a pencil. So I remember to go back and fix it. A lot of times I use, for the backgrounds, I use what do I use? These days I use a lot of the Uniball pens for that. I'm trying to figure out where her legs end up. Maybe that hand's not too bad. This is bad. Fix that. All right, next up, Sammy. I like Uniball because they have a couple different thicknesses. I think I use the medium for when I draw these days with them. I usually put a hamburger or something in his mouth. This is the perfect thing for you to see. I mean, like, this is like right up your alley, Charles. A lot of cross-hatching, especially Lauren's hair, with Sharpie felt tip pens, the kind that doesn't bleed through. I didn't know they made them like regular. I use a lot of regular Sharpies for the blacks and for the lettering. And I know it's not archival, but I've never had a problem with it, so just stick to it. Okay, well, that's just about everything with them. Where's my thing? Let me go wash my brush out real quick. Okay, I gotta make sure my hands are dry here. Okay. Everything's gonna shake for a second. Sorry. Okay, so this is the Winsor Newton brush, the Winsor Newton Series 7, which is really expensive. Well, more expensive than this. This is like, I think when you buy it in an art store, it's like $24. When you buy it online, you can find it for like $13. So is that, and then this is the white Sabelline. This is what I learned with, and it's got a stiffer brush, and it's also a number 2, but I think it's like $4. So anyway, so what I do with that is I use this stuff called Pro White, which is like whiteout, but it's like an opaque paint. And instead of like using the little brush from whiteout, you can actually paint with it. So I'm gonna fix Julia real quick. Sometimes you have to stir it up, but I forgot a line too. So okay, anything else? Okay, so one of the other things I do is I usually don't connect the lines that's behind. Well, that's part of it. So that they kind of pop out a little head of the other character. Drives people who color my comics crazy because nothing's fillable. But usually I color it, so I just drive myself crazy. Okay. And usually I just am careful when I ink. Okay. Go back to the other ink because now I should wash that one out too, but I'm not going to do it right now. I dipped this too far, but okay. I'll wash these brushes out again. We'll actually leave it on camera while I do it. So it's important to not put brushes face down in the water or whatever because it'll just break the bristles. And also, when you store them, you put a point on them so that when you use them the next time, they'll have a point. Okay. And do I have a Sharpie? No. Yes. Here we go. Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of paste ups. I pretty much draw everything on the paper. I mean, there's some other things. I'll go in sometimes, like if a line needs to be a little bit thicker, I'll use a Sharpie or whatever. It really looks pretty good, I think. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna start working on something else with them. I don't think I have any other characters that I really use a lot. I could put Tilly on there. All right. Well, I guess that's about all I have right now. I I think maybe not January 1st, but early January I'll start probably in the morning doing like an hour or so of just drawing stuff. As I work out the storyline and the gags and stuff, I'll do that on camera. So anyway, that should be interesting to me at least. Let me get another piece of paper. I'll draw some stuff, just some stuff. All right. Yeah, I'm going to do it in addition to the puppet stuff. And it'll probably be on the Melonful YouTube and probably TikTok and Instagram. So, okay. So, what did I draw? What am I going to draw now? Uh, yeah, this is the real trick. I can draw. I'll draw Tilly. Everybody's favorite character, Tilly. So that's usually all I draw of her. Let me put my hand there so you can see. That's usually what, when I draw something, that's, I can't get it in focus. But that's usually about all I draw. And then I'll ink it in. I do everything else and I ink it. It's not a very good drawing of Tilly, but it's. You get the idea, though. So that's basically how I would draw those other strips. It's a little thin. Yeah, I'd have to get a lot more reference to be able to do that, but maybe I will. There's a lot of problems with this one. Like the back needs to be arched more, and the chest needs to be fuller. But anyway, let me. So when I do it, what I do is I have tracing paper, and I put it over it, register it, and then I shade the all the shading with a pencil, and then scan both elements separately, and then put them back together in Photoshop. So that, because I was having a problem where the grays were getting too dark and obscuring the line work, but let's just do that. And then that's silly. So, anyway. So I did another comic called Cryptozoa. Very few people have seen. There were like 400 copies of it, and it's basically, I think I can draw her still. She's basically Calvin and drag. It's like a cross between Calvin and Lucy. I draw Tilly so much, that's why I could draw her just as a stick person, you know, where it went together. I'll draw the Jersey Devil next to her. She was a she was a little girl who went out with a bunch of cryptological characters, and like the Jersey Devil and the Loch Ness Monster. It's been a while since I drew this, so it's probably way off model. Well, most of your characters have pretty similar builds, right? They have kind of the same, almost like the Hanna-Barbera characters all kind of have a formula to them. She usually wears a pith helmet, but I guess the pith helmet's at the cleaners. It's the pith. You can definitely see the Calvin Calvin in these characters. Yeah, Calvin is in Calvin and Hobbes. Very, very Calvin-y. Okay. This is kind of the other characters in the troop expanded universe or whatever, cinematic universe. And this is based on a real drawing, artist depiction of the Jersey Devil. Sorry, I got my head in the way. There's a Jersey Devil. Is there anything you've ever wanted to do with your cartooning you haven't done yet? Well, I'd like to get syndicated. I'm not sure. Hey D, I don't know that we've actually talked directly. I follow your stuff. That's cool to see you here. Love the thick, chunky cartooning line art. Thank you. Yeah, that's how I've always drawn. Um, I mean, I can do other styles. This is like I said, my style is basically watered down Watterson. Um, let me see what else do I do. I guess I could do the whole cast of Cryptozoa, but I don't know if I have enough paper. Um, I mean, I used to. This is how I've always done it. Is when I'm not inking with it or sticking it in my mouth like this, like a penguin. Um, so I've always had this. I'm not going to do it now. I've always had this like pretty good memory. I say uh, uh, almost semi-photographic memory. Drives some people crazy, but I can still remember how to draw just about everything I used to draw as a kid. I can draw Popeye real quick. I'll draw him. Popeye's my go-to. He was like the first thing I learned how to draw. As a kid. He's not completely on model, but he's close. All right, ink him real quick. The big thing about when you're using an ink pen that you haven't washed out, and you usually lick it when you first start, and so you don't want to lick it when there's ink in it already. Okay, here we go. I used to watch this guy on on Sunday mornings named Tom Hatton, who in the LA area would do the Popeye show, and in between cartoons he would draw Popeye, and that's how I learned how to draw Popeye, and that was one of the first art lessons I ever got as a little 3-year-old kid. I think he has a belt too, but I can't remember. I'll put one on. It looks right to me. Popeye has 5 fingers. He's one of the few cartoon characters that has 5 fingers. And I can draw him because he's in public domain now. So, yeah, I'm starting to fit. Whenever I think of Popeye, I always think of that song that was in the Popeye movie. Um, uh, the one that Poop Deck Pappy sings. Um, it's not easy being me. Or no, it's not easy being me, master of my own destiny. It's as I sails the 7 seas. It's not easy being me. Spin there. Yeah, I'm not using a reference, so I don't know how close I'm getting or not getting to the way Popeye looks. There's Popeye. That's decent. Oh, I'd love to as well. Yeah, I follow your stuff online. Your process videos more than anything else. I haven't gotten a paper in years, but okay. Thank you. Um, yeah, I used to draw like all kinds of things. Like I said, I'm gonna start drawing at knots. So I should probably do an obligatory Snoopy. Actually, you know what? When I draw Snoopy, I like to draw him from the side. I can draw him from the front, but they probably won't let me. So I'll draw him. Again, I've drawn this since I was a little kid. And while I have one of the nibs that the type of nib that Schultz used, the Easterbrook 914. I'm not very good with it, so I'll just draw them. It won't look quite on model because of using a different tool. It's not a great Snoopy. Whatever. There's Snoopy. Um, what else do I got? So to compare Zoe and Calvin, I'll draw Calvin real quick. Yeah, it's not great, but get the idea. Yeah. So you can see them side by side. You can see how much they resemble one another. Can't really draw Hobbs. I never really got that one down. That might be it. It might be all. Oh, I mean, I could reference those as what? The Calvin? Or. Oh, Dr. Phil Van Neuter. All right, I'll see what I can do. All right, that might be all the drawing I'm going to do today. But it was a big part of my life for so long. Oop. There we go. There's the 2 drawings I did. That one and that one. I guess I'll put them in the gift shop. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Merry Christmas Eve. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to start doing it in the mornings, I think, about maybe not every day, but a good chunk of the day, every day as I work on this new project. I want to do a new graphic novel, I think, or something. I have some ideas. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is on Comic Fury, I'm running the last year and a half that I did daily. So in 2027, I'm going to get to the very end of where it started. I'm going to finish that storyline. So I'll probably work on the last 6 or 8 strips to finish that off, and then that'll lead right into what else I'm working on. So that's what I'm working on. Yeah, I can tell you're obsessed with those 2 characters, Cassidy. Thank you, Dee. And good seeing you again, Charles. And I will see you guys probably in the new year. I might do it one more time in between now and New Year's Eve, but maybe New Year's Eve I'll do a couple hours. That might be fun. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye. I can find it. There we go.